Hey guys, Jeff here, and before we get to today's episode, I wanted to let you know about our Season 4 sponsor, Adventure is Out There Travel. If you're listening to this podcast, there's a pretty good chance that you're in the middle of planning your next Disney vacation right now. So why not make it easier for yourself? By working with an Adventure is Out There travel agent, you'll be having an experienced vacation planner doing the heavy lifting for you. Adventure is Out There Travel specializes in making sure your entire group gets to experience the type of activities they want in order to make your trip even more magical. Whether heading to a Walt Disney World vacation in Orlando, flying west to Disneyland, or floating on the high seas in a Disney cruise, Adventure is Out There Travel can help you plan the vacation of a lifetime. Visit adventureisoutthere.travel.com for your free, no obligation quote today. Now on with the show.
Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Patrick Dougal.
And Patrick Dougal.
Yeah.
Welcome to the season finale of Disney Coast to Coast, and Merry Christmas.
Another year.
Another year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like right here. It's almost
like, do we have Christmas? No,
yeah,
no Christmas
we
decoration.
got Christmas stuff. We got the Santa Claus.
Oh, there he is.
We got our Mickey lantern.
There it is.
We've got the cast of Mickey's Christmas Carol hanging around.
You just gotta look
What
for
are
it.
It's
Look hard.
It's back here.
Sorry, I was covering it.
If you're listening, you won't see it.
But we just described it, so you're welcome.
We did. There you go. Visualize it. Before we jump into the news for the week in the House of Mouse headlines, we gotta keep our tradition here and go back to episode 1 of season 4, where we talk about this year it became the 4 things we were looking most forward to in 2017 from the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
And let's take a quick little look back. Now, 3 of the 4 we actually had the same, just by happenstance.
Okay.
So let's start with D23 Expo. How was it for you?
D23 was very fun.
It was. It's the D23 Expo. It's always fun.
You can't not like the D23 Expo.
But I did have a realization this year that it's never going to be what it was.
Yes.
It's become Comic-Con. It's gotten too large. So there was a bit of sadness after this year's D23 Expo, at least for me, where I was like, okay, this is different than its origins. So that was sad, but overall,
Still great.
Fantastic D23 Expo. What's the next one, Pat?
Fantasmic's return.
Yes.
I know your opinion on this.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about this, but this was I would say the greatest Disney disappointment of 2017.
Really?
I can't think of anything else that was a greater disappointment.
I mean, it did return.
It did return. Where do you fall on it?
Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. Still, last time I saw it was the D23 preview.
Okay,
I have yet to go back to see it.
How sad and bad is that?
Also, I've yet to go back to see it just because I still, as much as like I love Fantasmic, I just don't like the way it's run and set up. You never get a good spot unless you do the dining thing, and I just like don't have the.
You can do it if you get a fast pass, but
I don't have the energy to get up early just for Fantasmic.
Exactly, that's the problem. You got to show up early to get that good fast pass, and then be there all day.
I don't hate it. I didn't hate it when I saw it. My biggest thing I hated was the new Mickey voiceover. But in terms of sections, of course, I still like Peter Pan better than Pirates, but I don't hate Pirates. I do like Tangled in the princess section. For me, it's just little bits of things. Do I think it's better than what it used to be? There's pros and cons. I think the projections are a lot nicer, but like there's still cons to it. I mean, I'm happy it's returned, but I'm not running back to see it every night. Yeah,
now, up until recently, I actually had a realization one day, I think in like November, maybe it was October, I think it was November, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen Fantasmic since July. Like, that's insane for Jeff DePaoli. So since then, I've seen it twice just because I've been with people who are like, hey, let's watch it. And I was at a special event where like, it was a DVC event and they like performed Fantasmic for us. And I was like, okay, literally best seat in the house, no wait, I'll go. And I still have the same, we have an episode all about the return of Fantasmic. I believe it's the D23 Expo episode where I talk about it. But it's, Yeah, it's my greatest disappointment from Disney in 2017. If there are any others you can think of, leave a comment below on YouTube, but I'm thinking that's probably mine.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, none of the movies like bummed me out, or like it wasn't like any of the movies were really disappointing. Well, let me be fair. When we get to tonight's news, that might be the biggest disappointment of 2017. We talked about it last week with Aaron. But in any case, something else that happened is Pandora, the World of Avatar. That was on both of our lists.
I've gone twice already.
I've gone twice, but in the same trip.
I've gone twice. 2 different trips.
Okay. But Pandora, it's what I expected it to be. It's I think you like it probably more than me. I think you would agree with me. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's not worth a trip to Orlando.
Alone? No.
No. Okay. And Nighttime Pandora, fan or not a fan? I'm not such a fan of Nighttime.
I'm fine. I'm neutral.
Yeah, that's exactly. I don't think, but that's my point.
I don't hate it.
I don't. If our level now is I don't hate it, as if that's what we're going for, we're in a very bad place. So, Pandora, and then my list, I had Beauty and the Beast, the live action Beauty and the Beast, which I was absolutely a huge fan of. Still am. Think it's beautiful, wonderful. Little issues with it, sure, but definitely not a disappointment for me. And then on your list,
I had Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
And
opening night.
No spoilers.
No, because this is we're recording right after. Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Okay.
The reviews are extremely polarized.
Okay, let me tell you, supposedly, the reviews are better than the prequels. I read somewhere that like
the prequels are better than
I'm sorry, the prequel reviews are better than Last Jedi.
Well, audience wise,
yes.
Like Rotten Tomatoes is still in the 90s right now. Okay. So critic wise, it's fresh, great. Okay. But I will say that it's just a very different Star Wars movie.
Okay.
And
did you like it more than Rogue One? Because people,
I loved Rogue One.
Yeah.
This is almost a mixture of Rogue One.
Okay. With no leftover characters because they're all dead from Rogue One.
Yeah. No, but in fact, that like, it's the stories are still about the Jedi, but a lot of it now, of course, since the Jedi are waning around, a lot of it is about your average like Joe people, like the people who just pew guns, pew pew, like there's not there's more of that, like we have with Rose and new characters like that. So it's a very different Star Wars movie. I think because it's so different than what people are used to, it's kind of putting people off.
Okay.
Which is very weird because I've seen a lot of comparisons, which I kind of agree with. People are saying with The Force Awakens, it seemed very too much like A New Hope.
Yes, and this one's too different.
This one's way too different now. So people need to find a middle ground. Like, it's too different or it's too similar.
Maybe Rogue One is the middle ground. I don't know.
I have a lot of pros to it. I have a little bit of cons to it. It is the longest Star Wars movie.
Like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It runs at 150 something. Yeah. I think it could have been cut down at some points. But overall, I really enjoyed the film. And of course, the end, there's a tribute to Carrie Fisher.
Nice. Just like, yeah, it's gonna be heartbreaking. Yes. Even in the commercials, when I see her, I go, "Oh, yeah." Can you believe that was a year ago? That feels like years ago. That feels like so long ago that happened.
Not even a year.
Not even a year yet. That's insane to me.
But no, I'm glad I have it on my list.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, I'm going to see it soon. I'm a little surprised on the mixed reviews, just because, like, in a trilogy, and if you're counting 7, 8, 9 as a trilogy. Usually the middle one is the most well-reviewed one. It's where like most of the action takes place and everything. So I'm a little surprised. But I will say I'm happy that people have an opinion about it as opposed to just loving it because it's Star Wars. I think that's fantastic.
No, I want to say, because probably won't be a while until we talk about it.
Yeah.
I do think it is getting, you can see Disney's imprint on it.
Interesting. Say no more. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Do you see theme park attractions happening in the background?
No, it's just like you're like, you read a line and you're like, that's a Disney line.
I have heard there's some not so great one-liners in the movie.
No, it's
Does
I don't wanna
C-3PO,
put this-
does C-3PO say, more adventures await?
no. But like, it's the most comedic Star Wars movie.
That's saying a lot, I kind of feel like. I feel like...
But it's also very dark, too.
Okay.
There's a lot to discuss.
It's too soon to get into this.
But I have a lot of opinions.
Cool. I'm glad that you like it. Overall, I'd say Disney has done a pretty darn good year. If the only major complaint we have from our top 4 list is Fantasmic. So anyway, let's get to the news, guys. Let's jump to today's House of Mouse headlines. Here we go.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Okay, well, we got to start this week's news. Now, we did an entire episode, Aaron and I did last week, all about the rumors of this whole Fox, or Disney buying Fox story, but we got to at least mention it because it's now official. Disney has announced that for $52.4 billion with a B, $52.4 billion, they are buying pieces of 21st Century Fox, including the 20th Century Fox Movie Studios, Regional Sports Network, FX and National Geographic cable channels, and stakes in Hulu and European pay TV provider Sky. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah. I've already given my opinions about this on last week's episode. No surprise, I'm not thrilled with this, but what do you have to say about this?
Pieces make sense.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Disney should have the X-Men rights. I think they should have the Avatar rights. Pieces make sense. Other pieces do not. Like, Disney now owns Simpsons. Why? Disney now owns Family Guy. Why? Like, there are pieces that just don't make sense, and I feel like either they couldn't Fox didn't want them to like nitpick on what they could, and they're like, buy it all or not buy it all, and I think those other franchises are so strong they just said screw it and bought all of it.
I mean, does Disney now have the power to be like, okay, we don't really want anything to do with the Simpsons, so number one, can we sell just that off, and number two, could they say this is your last season? I don't know how much power they have now.
But then we also enter the same thing with Marvel and Universal.
Universal Studios theme park thing. Don't even get me going on that. I do want to say this is like a 12 to 18 month process to make this actually happen. This is not something that happens overnight a night just because an announcement was made. This could go away. I most likely won't, but we did see a similar thing happen. AT&T trying to buy Warner Brothers currently, and the government kind of put a stop to that, saying you have too much power if you do that. So who knows? I mean, anything could happen. It's most likely going to go through, though. There are a couple things that I didn't mention last week that I do want to mention. Number one, are you familiar with the Fox theme park that's being built?
No.
There's a Fox theme park being built in Malaysia as we speak. So there will technically now be a Fox/Disney theme park that Walt Disney Imagineering will have nothing to do with. That's bothersome to me.
I don't think Fox is gonna become so synonymous into Disney as Star Wars or Marvel did. I think it's gonna be a very hard tradition when you think Fox to now think Disney.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you think that the Fox fanfare will go before Star Wars again?
No.
I mean, that was such a hard thing to get used to, it not being before Star Wars. I wonder if they'll just like, yeah, we own it, let's put it back. Like, I don't know. It's very weird to me. In addition, I do want to say Fox does own the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes franchise. I foresee that going into Disney's Animal Kingdom. I think that makes tons of sense. And frankly, like, as unhappy as I am with this deal, I think they could probably make a pretty killer Planet of the Apes attraction. Like, are you a fan of that reboot?
I think haven't seen the last one.
Oh, they're so good. Like, I just love them. I think they're fantastic. So that would be interesting. And also, they now own my favorite movie of all time, Titanic. And Disney does have a cruise line. That's all I'm saying.
It's a sinking ship.
Hopefully that's not the way. But like, I could totally see them building the grand ballroom of the Titanic in a Disney Cruise Line ship and having that experience. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we'll start seeing the Fox. Do you think we'll start seeing Fox stuff in the theme parks? Because a lot of theories out there is that this is really all about Hulu, is what a lot of people are saying.
I think it's all about movies also.
Yeah, the having the catalog to put in streaming though. So that's what people are saying, is it's to have the library to put into streaming services like Hulu and or their own streaming service, which they're developing, which I'm curious whether or not they're going to even keep that now or just make Hulu their thing. I don't know. There's so many questions up in the air. Obviously, we'll get more news about it in the future, but sorry, I know we talked about this all last week, but I felt we needed to mention it since it's official now. But that kind of leads into something else that's going on.
Bob Iger?
Yeah, Mr. Iger.
Who obviously made this deal happen,
Yes.
as he did with Star Wars and Marvel, and just
Pixar.
him just buying anything
That's
and
his
everything
thing.
for Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worked out so far. We'll see
Has it
happens.
worked out? I mean, it's worked out in the dollar market, yes.
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 I mean, I'm glad Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar.
The ones that make sense to me are Pixar and Muppets. Those are the two that I'm like, this makes sense to me. But in any case,
Star Wars makes more just because we've had a ride.
we've had it in the parks.
Yes.
Yes, I get that, but we don't need to go into all this again.
Anyway.
Yeah.
2021. He might be staying around for a little longer.
Not might be. He is. It's confirmed.
It's might be staying a little longer.
Yeah.
Definitely wants to open Star Wars. Yeah, for sure. Because that was our whole thing last time.
2019, yeah. Well, it's kind of annoying because he did officially say, like, just a couple months ago, I'm definitely leaving in 2019. This deal goes through. It sounds to me like he wants to groom somebody from Fox, probably, one of the heads over there to take over. So sorry. Oh God, what's his name? The guy who runs theme parks and resorts who is being groomed. Chapek. There we go.
It's like Chapnick.
I mean, he's going to be pretty upset, is my guess.
I wasn't too thrilled with that.
I wasn't either.
So...
I'm not thrilled with Iger staying. Listen, Bob Iger, I love and appreciate, because he listens. I love and appreciate everything. Not everything. I love and appreciate a lot that you've done for the company. It's time to move on. You're obviously not going to run for president, it sounds like. Definitely. At least not this next election.
That's what The Rock is doing.
So, is The Rock? Dwayne Johnson is talking about running for president?
Yeah, strongly considering.
Really?
His wording.
I'm waiting for Oprah. Anywho,
Anyone can be a president.
if you're a celebrity, of course. Now it's the end of the year, end of 2017, and what happens toward the end of the year is there's always these top 10 lists.
Oh, yeah.
That come out, and so Instagram, of course, has the most Instagrammed locations of 2017. Patrick, what is number one?
Disneyland.
The original park.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty Castle.
Little surprising. Like, I think that's wonderful. Not surprised. I mean, if you're on Instagram, you know there are many, many Instagram accounts solely dedicated to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Number one is Disneyland. Number 5 on the list, Tokyo Disneyland. Number 6 is the Magic Kingdom.
I contributed to all 3. No, not this year. Tokyo was last year.
Okay.
I contributed 2 of those this year.
And number 9? Take a guess. Number
Is it
9.
like a second park?
It's another park.
I'm gonna say Animal Kingdom.
Disney California Adventure. Very interesting list to think that the only Walt Disney World park is Magic Kingdom, and that's number 6. I would expect that to be number 1.
Yeah.
I think, well, okay, let me rephrase that. I guess it makes sense considering the whole locals park thing. Like,
We take a lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures, and we like take pride in like having accounts dedicated to that. Where I guess the Magic Kingdom folks are really doing it just for while they're on vacation for the most part. So, but yeah, most Instagrammed locations of 2017, Disneyland number 1. That is very, very impressive.
Well, next year, as you know, Pixar Play Parade has moved from DCA and will be premiering at Disneyland for Pixar Fest as well.
Yeah.
But with that, we are getting a couple new floats. First of all, starting off the parade, we're getting the Luxo and Luxo Ball.
Yeah.
As it goes down. It says Pixar Play Parade. And then we're also getting...
Huge fan of that, by the way. I love that.
Yeah.
Not enough Luxo representation.
Yeah. I hope it's like an actual like ball that spins and moves instead of just going forward.
I saw that'd be great. I wouldn't count on that,
No,
but
I wouldn't count on it
I
either.
saw that artwork and I was like, this is nice. Like this is
It's cute.
iconography for
Because I don't...
Pixar.
Monsters started it, right? There's just like
the big drum.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing the tradition of a big drum, though. A big drum starting the parade is a pretty big Disney.
They'll keep
we'll
it
get it back
at
with
the
Paint the Night. Yeah, or maybe it'll...
Anyway, we have more ones. Inside Out will be getting a float with Joy and Sadness and Bing Bong riding on the wagon, Rainbow Wagon.
When are we going to get the other emotions? Like, we really... I guess we kind of did have it for the pre-parade.
The puppet, yeah.
They're obviously not making... Have we seen walk-around characters of the other emotions ever?
The premiere had them.
Okay. What are they doing? They're sitting in a closet? Let's dust those things off. I want to see them. But yeah.
But we'll
Joy and
also
Sadness.
be getting a up float as well.
Yeah.
With Doug and Russell and...
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. I know Disneyland seems like a little bit of a weird home for this parade, but it is Pixar Fest. It all starts April 13th at the Disneyland Resort, so that should be pretty cool. Another Pixar-related thing going on at Disneyland Resort is we got some info about the Incredicoaster opening at Disney California Adventure. This looks pretty cool.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, California Screamin' is actually one of my favorite roller coasters ever. I'm not an adventurous roller coaster. I'm the type of person that like wants to have fun on a roller coaster, not be terrified or feel like I'm going to die. And I think California Screamin' is perfect at that. So to have that same track with the tunnels are being enclosed, we're getting character figures, hopefully animatronics, I'm hoping.
Maybe.
Yeah, so like there's going to be characters in the tunnels. Sounds like there's going to be lighting involved, probably some LED screens if I had to guess. But it looks really great. And then it even looks like there's a little bit of a pre-show with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe a post-show.
There's a whole story to
Yeah.
the actual coaster. It is Edna was babysitting Jack and Jack escaped. So you have to go help save Jack.
Yeah, and Mrs. Incredible is going to be all stretched out inside one of those long tubes, trying to catch Jack. It looks so cute. And, the feelings on Pixar Pier are pretty mixed, I'd say, between us. But
For Incredicoaster, I'm down.
Incredicoaster looks cool. And from what I understand, California Screamin' needs some TLC. It's falling apart. So it's good that it's going to be down for a while. Fix it properly is what I would say to that. Oh, hey there. Sorry to be interrupting the show, but a lot of you have been writing in requesting that we make new episodes more frequently. As much as we would love to do that, we simply don't have the time. But here's the good news. You can interact with us every day of the week. No need to just wait for Wednesdays. Connect with us in places like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, we love to interact with you in the comment sections on YouTube and read your reviews on iTunes or wherever you listen to the show. So go ahead. No more waiting around for Wednesdays to have some DCTC time. You can find all of our links at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. And speaking of more, Pixar Up is headed to Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're losing Flights of Wonder, which I've seen once. Have you seen that show, Minnie?
No.
Never. Have you never seen it?
I think I've seen it once. It's a bird show.
It's a bird show. It's still going to be a bird show, but they are adding Russell and Doug from Up in the show, which, will give it a bit of spice, I'd say, for the younger audience members. This is going to premiere in spring of 2018. Flights of Wonder, your last chance to see it is December 31st of this year, so make sure you check it out if you want to see Flights of Wonder before it goes away. But I think that's nice. It's a nice little update to it. I'm cool with it. What else is going on at
What
Walt
else is
Disney
going
World?
on? Well, if you've been following Disney Parks blog, they've been doing these 12 days of rumors in the parks or more details into what's coming, and they've revealed more details on the Skyliner that is coming to the Walt Disney World Resort, including the I guess they're called gondolas. Are they gonna? Yeah. Their gondolas are gonna be decked out in various different designs, from the Fab Five to character park icons to they have like Haunted Mansion ghosts on some of them. So those are gonna be all decked out, and then we've got some artwork for the different landings in. Over by Epcot, there's going to be one that's going to be inspired by the nearby European pavilions. Over in...
We're supposedly getting a bird's eye view of World Showcase.
But I don't...
So I don't know. When I think bird's eye view, I think directly above looking down.
Yes.
So I don't think these gondolas are going to go over World
Outskirts.
Showcase. they do go over World Showcase, big mistake. But it's still exciting to think about that.
And then over by the Disney Caribbean Beach Resort, this is going to be...
You say Caribbean.
Yeah.
Interesting. I say Caribbean Beach Resort, Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Well, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is going to be the hub of activity for the Disney Skyliner by the marketplace and whatnot. And then over at Hollywood Studios, they're also going to have a station that's going to be designed similar to the entrance of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, and then Pop Century and Art of Animation are sharing a station, which makes sense. They're directly next to each other. So, yeah, do you feel like there's going to be lines of people waiting to use these to get to the parks? Like, is this going to be a ride?
I think it's going to be better. It's honestly...
This is going to be, you know what this is going to be? You know how we look back at, like, opening day of the monorail at Disneyland and we see Walt cutting the ribbon and then then we hear, like, oh, it was a ride. Wait a sec, it was a ride. People waited just to ride
Let
this?
me talk about how I still, at Disneyland, see people get on at Tomorrowland, ride it, and then ride it back as just a ride. And I'm like... This is just transportation.
Yeah, well, the Skyliner, which is just meant to be transportation, I think will be a ride for a while.
It will be, and it's...
I don't think it's going to have...
free, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, like...
yeah, because
you don't have to pay admission to, like, use these things.
You just need to park at a hotel.
Like, if I was just visiting, like, Disney Springs or something, and I, like, didn't have time to go to
These
a park...
should go to Disney Springs.
Well, Caribbean is right by Disney Springs, so technically it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a space. But yeah,
Dude, this should just run the length of Disney Springs to get from one end of Disney Springs to the other.
Over the lake.
Yeah, really. But yeah, I think it'll be a nice addition. My only concern with it is sight lines in the parks. I really hope we don't see these things flying from places we shouldn't. I'm sure they've thought about that and taken care of it, hopefully. Now, some overseas news. Hong Kong Disneyland, they announced a while ago, we'd mentioned it on the show, that they are plussing Sleeping Beauty Castle there, which currently is an exact replica of Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland. They're giving a lot of height to it, but it is... I think they're still going to call it Sleeping Beauty Castle, but it's going to... Actually, that's a very good question. I don't know if they will anymore.
Looks like
because they're
a lot of things.
It's inspired by several Disney princesses, very much like the Shanghai Castle. Unlike the Shanghai Castle, which has a very specific look to it, this one just kind of has a throw up all over it. It's like princess throw up everywhere.
Why not?
So I don't know. The renderings look weird to me.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, it's something different.
It is something different. I'll give you that. So at the tops of like the turrets and stuff, is that a word, turrets, or did I make that up? Yeah, there'll be like you'll see Snow White's apple, the spire. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, Snow White's apple, Belle's rose, the Cinderella coach. So like there'll be little pieces of princesses all over it, and inside we'll get a Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique and a nighttime spectacular in front of the castle. So I think they might be putting in some water.
It's going to be similar to Shanghai, where there's like a moat in front.
Okay. I think they all got moats, but as far as the shows,
like you can't walk through.
Okay.
Like a moat with stage, like it's going to be a stage as well.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'm cool with them plussing the castle. Maybe it'll look better once it's done and/or in person. I don't know, but do you personally like this whole castle dedicated to several princesses, or are you more of a singular princess castle person?
I mean, I grew up with Cinderella's castle in Florida, so that's always been a staple to me, even before Disneyland. So like Sleeping Beauty Castle, I mean, is small.
yeah, Sleeping Beauty Castle is totally so. But I mean, like, Sleeping Beauty Castle is in Paris, and Sleeping Beauty Castle in Paris is my favorite castle of them all. I think it's stunningly beautiful, even though it's not necessarily the largest. But I don't know. I just like the idea of like this is this princess's castle. Saying it belongs to all the princesses, I'm like, then we're like backstage for Wreck-It Ralph 2. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're just getting that little thing going on, but. I don't know. It's a different direction.
Because Shanghai's is just called Storybook Castle.
Yeah. And even though it's really kind of become Snow White's castle.
True.
But anyway, what else is going on overseas?
Well, some exciting news. Tokyo is going to be starting a $2.7 billion expansion on both of its parks, Tokyo Disney Sea and Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah.
This is exciting. I mean,
but I'm hearing a third park.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still cloudy. There's been a lot of sayings that there's going to be a third gate dedicated to a more Oriental style Disney park, and then some saying that all this is going to more expansions, which we've known about a couple of the expansions, like a Beauty and the Beast ride was coming.
Yep.
Was it Tokyo that's getting in the whole Arendelle land, or is that Hong Kong?
I think it was Tokyo Disney Sea.
Okay.
But I think Hong Kong as well, actually. But I could be mistaken.
Some of the stuff we know, but we didn't know specifically how large this was going to be. But $2.7 billion, I mean...
It's a lot of dollars.
You could create an entire park for 2.7.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... Now, construction is not...
To me, though, seeing Tokyo Disneyland and knowing that area... I don't see room for a third park.
They're building a parking tower. So they're saying in the parking lot will be the third gate, and they're going to build a parking garage, because right now it's just flatland parking, apparently.
Okay.
So that is supposedly
Didn't
what they're
drive
gonna
a
do.
car there. Makes sense. Didn't see the parking lot.
Yeah, now this expands the parks by 30%, and apparently construction wouldn't start until 2025. Construction wouldn't start until 2025. That's a long ways away. That's like...
I mean, some of the things we are getting soon. I think the Beauty and the Beast ride is supposed to open 2019.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And as you said, they're looking for a more Japanese theme. A lot of people are saying if they build a theme park that's like this, it's kind of like a Japanese version of Disney California Adventure, which I find interesting because DCA, I don't like its original intention didn't really work. Yeah. So I think it's interesting that they're going to try again with Japan. So I don't know. It's exciting regardless, is all I can say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any expansion.
More excuses to go to Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah. What else happened in Tokyo?
Tokyo is getting some facial recognition, some more creepy stuff happening at Disney Park.
I think we talked about this before happening over at Universal with some testing.
Yes, Universal Orlando, I think, was testing this. Now the interesting thing about Tokyo Disney Resort, if you don't know, is Disney does not put money into it. The Oriental Land Company does. But Disney has 100% creative control over it. So it's kind of a really good deal if you're Disney, in my opinion.
Like, we want to do this, but we're not going to fund it.
Yeah, so they're going to put in facial recognition for annual pass holders. Basically, this is going to be, instead of a cast member being there to look at your picture, it's going to be something that scans your face and recognizes it and allows you into the park. Now, the reasoning behind this, I think the first thing that people think is they're doing this so that they can lay off people and have less cast members. Supposedly, this is actually fixing a labor shortage that they're having in the region. They do not have enough cast members. So that's the reason, supposedly, for this happening. They want it in by 2020. In addition to the facial scanners, they're going to have ticket booths removed. So currently they have 32 ticket booths. They're going to go to 6.
Oh, wow.
And then they're going to have 12 basically vending machine ticket booths.
Okay.
Where you can go and
that's how you do...
Universal, right?
No, if you... Well, yes, they have will call. You can do it there. But when you get on the monorail over at Tokyo Disney, it's not free.
Okay.
It's a charge. You can...
Oh, interesting.
You buy a ticket.
Even if you're at the hotel?
Yes.
Wow.
It's not expensive. It's like $1, $2 US per trip. Or since we were there multiple days, you can buy a 5-day pass for like $10.
Okay.
No, not right all the time. But that is all vending.
Okay.
Straight vending machine.
Yeah, so some changes coming there, and I think it's interesting though that they have a labor shortage supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Tokyo Disney Sea is a massive park. It is like 2 parks in one. So it's technically they have 3
just
parks.
their Magic Kingdom, you're saying?
No,
no,
Tokyo
Disney
Sea.
Sea. Okay, gotcha.
It is just massive.
Okay.
What else is happening? Well, moving on to some cruise ship news.
Yeah.
Of course, we have all the different days happening on cruise ships. Marvel days, Star Wars days. Well, now you can get transformed into your favorite Star Wars character because their Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique during Star Wars days can make you a Jedi or a Sith or whatever you want to be.
Oh my God, wait a sec. Bibbidi Bobbidi. That's like BB. I feel like we can do something with
Bibbidi Bobbidi.
Bibbidi Bobbidi 8. I feel like they could do something with that name.
Something, yeah. Close.
So, now, as a reminder, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is for ages 3 to 12. And you can get you can dress up as Rey, Kylo Ren, Leia, or a rebel pilot. But for teens and adults, you can enjoy a Rey makeover, which I think is crap because that's only for girls.
Yeah.
Why can't I be Kylo Ren?
Put a little scar on your face.
Heck
Give you a little black wig.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting, though, that this is the first time that I know of that an adult can do a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique transformation.
Yeah.
It makes sense, especially during Star Wars Days at Sea. I just think it's funny that we're going in that direction. So from the sea to Hawaii. Moana, of course, perfect home for Moana is the Disney Aulani Resort and Spa in Hawaii.
Yep.
They're adding some new stuff with her. They're going to have the Kakamora Chaos with Moana at Auntie's Beach House, which is a fun little kid area. It's a 90-minute interactive children's game. Also, the character of Uncle is always around the fire pit telling stories and such. Now Moana will join him for those stories. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities to meet Moana, it sounds like, at Aulani, which I'm all for.
Oh, heck yeah.
I love it when it just fits perfectly.
Yeah, Moana's just chilling on a beach.
Yeah.
She would be.
Yeah. I want to see her riding her little boat there. With the pig, with the baby pig. Pua. Heck yeah.
What's more Moana news? The Grammys nominations have come out, and Moana soundtrack has been nominated.
Yeah, no, it's a best compilation soundtrack, and the album is called Moana the Songs. So I think this is maybe separate from the Moana soundtrack. So like, I don't know. I'm not into the music industry nearly as much as I am other entertainment industries, but they're up against Baby Driver, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Hidden Figures, La La Land, and may the best soundtrack win, I guess. Yeah. And then they're also nominated for another area, right? How Far I'll Go. Nominated for Best Song Written for Visual Media, which I think is another... Man, the Grammys... Do you ever watch the Grammys?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I never watch the Grammys. And this is, hey, good for them. And so from what I'm reading, very good chance of winning. So that Lin-Manuel Miranda is finally getting a little bit of luck in his life, you know? Finally. He's been struggling lately, right? And then I want to mention, now, we're together on this, yet opposite everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
I love
which we don't hate at all.
It's fine. Do I think it should have played in front of Coco? No. I think it's awkward.
But did
I appreciate it? Yeah. Was I offended by it? No.
No. And people hating on it. I like the song. I like
the story. I was like, oh, wait, they're bringing Olaf together.
The only thing that I was like, okay, this is complete crap, was like, they clearly just wanted to sell different dresses. Like, when it started and the two girls had different dresses than we've seen them in, I was like, okay. Yes. And then I went to I don't know if I've talked about this. So I went to the Disneyland to see Coco. And, I was thinking to myself, now, if you live in LA, you're spoiled. Sorry, we're so spoiled. We see free movies constantly, people having screenings, whatever. So they have tons of screenings for Disney cast members. And like normally they'll a studio will have a screening and you go if you can. And if you don't get in, whatever. Disney has many, dozens over the weekend that the movie comes out for their cast members.
They take the whole weekend and it just continuously plays on a loop.
Exactly. So I went to one of those with a friend, and I was like, I was just thinking to myself, this is so generous of them to they don't have to play it this many times. That's so nice of them. And then at the end of the movie, and I don't know why it took me this long to figure it out, the store is open on the lot. And so I'm like, oh, let's go to the store. Let's go. And we go, and I'm like, oh my God, it is mobbed in here. They make so much money in that store just from the free screenings.
It's like exiting a gift shop after.
Dude, honestly, I was legitimately in there thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, could this be a new strategy for going to movie theaters? What if they just show the movie for free and they have a Disney store in the AMC? and they just count on people buying stuff in the store. I mean, the El Cap kind of does it. The movies certainly aren't free, but they have the store right next to it. It blew my mind, the amount of money being spent in there. But in any case, I went in that store, and of course, the 2 dresses from the short. So in any case, they took it off of Coco. Now, it is funny because they are saying it was cut from Coco because it was a limited run. I don't think that was the intention. I never heard of anything about a limited run of this before all of the upset that it caused. But it was taken off of Coco. And it's already passed, but it was on ABC on December 14th, as, you know, it was originally intended to be a TV holiday special. So for all you Olaf's Frozen Adventure haters out there, man, give it a break.
It was fine.
Was it brilliant? No. Was it fun? Yeah. And that song, When We're Together, all about it. All about it. I'm together. Yeah, we're together. Because when we're together, so good.
I don't know. People complain about the length of it, but then you go see a 2 hour, 30-minute Star Wars movie. Like, it's fine.
I kind of, listen, I get it.
It's
Coco,
kids,
it's kids.
Yes.
If you ask me, get rid of the 20 minutes of previews.
This is my thing. Is it really that much longer? Let's say it's 10 minutes longer than it usually will be, because normally before a Disney movie, we get a short anyway.
It's about 8 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes of a short. And then this one was 21. That's just an additional 10 minutes. People, it's fine.
Yeah, people got irrationally upset about it, in my opinion.
Olaf's Frozen Adventure. I loved Coco. Everything's great.
By the way, I just totally random tangent. I recently saw that the holiday special that they did on TV, Disney, like right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
It was on my DVR. Finally,
see it.
Yeah, it's okay. There are some nice moments from my boy band in real life, and then Fifth Harmony, who I didn't really know, they're really good, and then and Adina and Kristen Bell.
I did see that. Yeah,
that song that I love. So that was good. But they showed a little bit of Toy Story Land. And the whole time, you know, in Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I'm looking around, I'm like, any blades of grass? Any Play-Doh? Any Super Soaker? Like, I'm just looking for pieces of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Movie Set Adventure. Nothing.
It's all cleared up.
It
all got leveled first.
I thought that they would have pieces of it used in Toy Story Land.
They might have a blade of grass. We'll see.
The blade of grass is a little bit too realistic. I feel like Super Soaker and or Play-Doh have the best bet of being there. I'm still praying for it, but didn't see anything, sadly.
We'll see.
Didn't see anything, sadly. Anyway, I think is that going to do it for the news?
That's it.
Okay, well then, I think that means it's trivia time! On today's trivia time, I have Christopher Smith with me, the author of The Walt Disney World That Never Was. Welcome to the show, Christopher.
Hey, Jeff. Great to be with you.
Now, first of all, you, I think, are the first person ever to be on the show with sports memorabilia in the background of your show.
Yes. I joke with my wife that, you know, instead of saving for our kids' college tuition, I go and buy a new helmet or a ball. And so in several years, I'll start pulling things off the shelf to resell. But it's fun for now.
Nice. Well, I do want to mention you live in Mooresville, Alabama, which you were telling me has a nice little Disney connection to it. So why don't you tell our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, sure. So Mooresville, which is kind of just a dot on the map, is the oldest incorporated town in Alabama. It was founded in 1818 and has a lot of houses and civic structures and churches from that time period. And because of how distinct the look is and the character, it was the primary filming location for the 90s Disney live-action movie Tom and Huck, which starred Jonathan Taylor Thomas of Home Improvement fame. So it's a cool little Disney connection here to our neighborhood.
Nice. I certainly remember that movie, so that's a cool little tie. But today on the show, we are going to be talking about Christmas at Walt Disney World. That is the subject of today's trivia. And since you're the guest, why don't you ask me a question?
Sure. So, you know, Christmas is without a doubt my family's favorite time at Disney World. And we've been down there, I think, more times than any other. You know, love the Christmas party, love all the decorations. One of the things that we really love to do is to visit the different resorts on property to see all of the cool things that each of those have. You know, the big Christmas trees at the Wilderness Lodge and the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And several resorts have these really amazing gingerbread structures in their resorts for folks to visit. And so the one in particular I'm going to ask you about is actually a huge gingerbread carousel. Okay.
Okay.
It is really cool. It's made almost exclusively of edible items, but it actually twirls and rotates. And so I'm going to ask you an easy question, and then maybe follow it up with a hard question, depending. But let me just tell you a few ingredients in this large thing. So it has 324 pounds of honey, 150 pounds of icing, and last year, and I'm assuming because of the year, it had 2,016 pieces of actual gingerbread.
Okay.
So the question is what Disney resort can you find this gingerbread carousel?
I believe it's the Grand Floridian. Is that correct?
Close.
Okay. There's the gingerbread house in the Grand Floridian, but the carousel is somewhere else. Ooh, is it on Bay Lake?
It is not on Bay Lake, but it is. It is at a deluxe resort.
Is it only because of the horse thing? I'm thinking, is it Saratoga Springs?
It is not.
Oof. If this is the easy question, I'm really screwed.
Well, I'll give you another hint. So there are actually two separate resorts that when people say them, they usually say them together, the blank and the blank.
The Port Orleans or the the Swan and Dolphin.
No.
I'm blanking. What is it?
It is actually at the Beach Club, believe it or not. So
okay.
The Alton Beach Club, but for people who've never seen it, it is really an amazing structure, and it smells really great when you walk in.
Oh, that's cool, huh? So that's the easy one. What's the hard one?
So the hard one was, and this will just be a wild guess, but it's fun. I named some of the ingredients there, but how many whole eggs do you think are used to make the large gingerbread carousel?
I am so bad at this type of stuff. 3,000.
Close, actually, 1,000.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Off by 2,000.
A lot of eggs either way you cut it.
Man, that would be a lot of omelets, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes, it would.
Great. So my question for you about A Christmas at Walt Disney World is about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I'm wondering, do you know the date of the first ever Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at the Magic Kingdom?
Oh, wow. The very first. So
yeah, let's start with the year. Can you narrow it down to a year?
So we've been to the Christmas party many times. I know it's been in place for a long time. I thought I'd heard somewhere that this was this is going to be wrong. Maybe it's the Halloween party, maybe the 17th anniversary. So no, that's got to be earlier than that. Why don't I just guess and say 85?
Close. Go a little bit lower.
80.
A little higher.
83.
83 is the year 1983. What month do you think it was back in 1983? The first party. The
first one, well, obviously it starts so early now. You would think that certainly back then it was a little closer to the actual holiday. So I'll say December.
You are correct. Any guesses on a date?
December the 5th.
No. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it, for Walt's birthday?
Right.
No, it's pretty much smack dab in the middle.
I got so December 15?
16. December 16.
That really is cool to think about that because of how early it starts now.
It's insane how early it starts now. I always tell people. Last year, I was at Walt Disney World on Halloween night. I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I returned to the Magic Kingdom the next morning. And I know the stories of overnight it becomes Christmas, but literally it was all Halloween wreaths on Main Street, and then 7 hours later, I returned. It was all Christmas wreaths. And I'm this is bizarre, really bizarre.
I've heard stories, and I'm jealous of these people who will go down for an extended vacation, and they'll be able to catch the last Halloween party and then the first Christmas party. I think it's tougher to do that now than it used to be because I think there is a little bit more time. But
it depends on when Halloween falls, I think. But that is one of these years I do want to do that. I want to catch the last Halloween and first Christmas. And
I think how great would that be? Yeah,
I think if you can make a 10-day vacation work, I think you'll be able to do it without a problem. It's if you're trying to make it a 7-day vacation that it becomes a bit difficult and really depends on the year. But yeah,
with a 10-day vacation and then the prices for both the Halloween party and the Christmas party, you'd also have to be ready to I'd have to sell a few helmets.
Exactly. Well,
to make that happen.
Frankly, it might be worth it. But anyway, Christopher, thank you so much for coming on the show. As I mentioned, the title of the book is The Walt Disney World That Never Was. I assume it's everywhere, right? Amazon and all the places you find books?
Absolutely. Just search on Amazon and it'll pull right up.
Great. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hope you guys enjoyed that trivia. Of course, before we go, I want to give a shout out to Cordy40.
Cordy40.
Number one, love your username, Cordy40, but also thank you for the 5-star written review on iTunes. Folks, if you want to give Disney Coast to Coast a Christmas present, go to iTunes, leave that 5-star written review. You will help other Disney fans find us easier that way, and it would be very much appreciated. Want to remind everybody that this is the season finale of Disney Coast to Coast. Season 5 will begin on January 24th, 2018. But don't worry, because every Wednesday leading up to then, we will have a mini episode of Disney Coast to Coast. So make sure you keep checking your podcast feed and YouTube channel for those. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up the season. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Happy holidays, and happy 2017, I guess, right? We survived this year, which is an accomplishment, I feel like. So
here comes 2018.
Okay, have a magical holiday season, everybody. Be safe, and I hope you're all with loved ones. Have a great week, everybody, or a great month, or a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.